guys, welcome to Psychology Tree. Do you wonder? You can get to know what people are thinking about you just by reading their body language without even knowing them. Communication doesn't only happen verbally. As you speak or listen, you also express feelings and reactions with your body language, including your facial expression, gestures, and stance. According to Dr. Emily, our brain prioritizes nonverbal communication over verbal communication. It's important to keep in mind that body language isn't universal. Several things can impact how someone both uses and interprets body language. So here's Beginner's Guide to Reading Body Language. Here are some more subtle types of body languages. The first one, decoding the mouth. If someone's smiling, that's a good sign, right? Not necessarily. Different smiles mean different things. The same goes for the position of someone's lips. Smiles. With a true genuine smile, the corners of the mouth turn up and the eyes narrow and wrinkle at the corners. Insincere smiles generally don't involve the eyes. They can happen in response to discomfort. A smirk or partial smile that follows a micro-expression of displeasure or contempt can suggest uncertainty, disdain, or dislike. A smile accompanied by lasting eye contact, a long glance, or a head tilt can suggest attraction. The next one is lips. Compressed or narrow lips can suggest unease. Quivering lips can suggest fear or sadness. Pursed lips may indicate anger or disagreement. Open, slightly parted lips tend to mean someone feels relaxed or generally at ease. The eyes can say a lot. Eyes can convey a lot of information about someone's mood and level of interest. People tend to blink rapidly when under some sort of stress. You may have heard that rapid blinking often suggests dishonesty, but this isn't always the case. Someone's blinking may speed up when they are working through a difficult problem, feeling uncomfortable, afraid, or worried about something. Your pupils will typically dilate when you feel positively towards something or someone. These feelings might involve romantic attraction, but this isn't always the case. Dilation happens in response to the arousal of your nervous system, so you may also notice dilated pupils when someone's angry or afraid. When you don't like something, your pupils will usually contract or get smaller. Your eyes tend to follow what you're interested in, so tracking the movement of someone's gaze can give you information about their mood. People also tend to move their eyes down or to one side when working through a problem, recalling information or memories, thinking about something difficult. Eye blocking includes things like covering your eyes with a hand, closing your eyes briefly such as in a long blink, rubbing your eyes, or squinting. Blocking is generally unconscious, but it tends to suggest how you really feel. People often block their eyes when irritated, distressed, or faced with something they don't particularly want to do. Although people usually use their arms and legs to make purposeful gestures, movements that happen more instinctively can also reveal a lot about emotions. People often cross their arms when feeling vulnerable, anxious, and interested in considering another perspective. The arm can also give someone a sense of protection. Keep an eye out for behaviors like holding something against the chest, bringing an arm to rest on a chair or table, putting an arm out to create distance, using one arm to hold the other behind the back. Many people use gestures for emphasis when speaking. This can have some direct benefits, as research suggests. We tend to answer someone's question faster if they make gestures while asking. Some more specific things to watch for. Outstretched hands with palms up may be an unconscious reflection of openness. Clenched fists can suggest anger or frustration, especially in someone trying to suppress these emotions. You might notice their facial expression remains neutral, even relaxed. Instinctively touching the cheek might signal that someone is considering something carefully or has a lot of interest in what you're saying. The feet and legs can show nervousness and restlessness through tapping feet, like jiggling and shifting from foot to foot. Feet can also reveal information. If their feet point away, they may feel more like leaving the conversation than continuing it. If their feet point towards you, the person is likely enjoying the conversation and hoping to continuing it. Your breathing tends to pick up when you're under stress. The stress can be positive or negative, so someone breathing quickly may be excited, anxious, nervous, or worried. A long deep breath can suggest relief, anger, or fatigue. This intentional control often happens when trying to suppress a strong emotion, such as anger. How someone stands or sits and where they do it can give you some clues how they're feeling. Here are some things to look for. Leaning back on a wall or other support can suggest boredom or disinterest. Leaning into a conversation or towards someone typically suggests interest or excitement. Standing up straight, sometimes with hands on hips, can suggest excitement, eagerness, and confidence. Standing straight with hands at the sides is a common resting position that suggests a willingness to engage and listen. Resting the head in one hand can show interest. When both hands support the head, it might suggest boredom or fatigue. Tilting the head or body to one side suggests interest and concentration. It can also suggest attraction, depending on other body language markers. The degree of physical distance a person maintains when talking to you can sometimes give you clues about their mood or feelings for you. Keep in mind that people simply prefer to keep more distance between themselves and others, especially people they don't know well. Some specific behaviors can be telling. Someone who regularly stands or sits very close to you likely enjoys your company. Someone who stands apart and takes a step back if you take a step forward likely wants to maintain some distance from you. Sitting close enough to touch or leaning into a conversation, particularly with a smile or brief touch, often suggests physical attraction. Putting up a hand or arm when taking a step back often suggests a desire for a physical barrier or more distance. Body language can be complex and difficult to understand. In fact, there's an entire field of study called kinesics, devoted to understanding nonverbal communication. If you have a hard time understanding body language, keep these tips in mind. Talk to them. It never hurts to ask someone how they feel. If you notice a restless foot or clenched fist, try pulling them aside and asking if everything's alright. Consider their previous body language. Body language can vary from person to person. If someone's unique body language suddenly seems different, it's a clue that something might be going on beneath the surface. Aim for some level of eye contact. You don't have to stare or maintain continuous eye contact, but it does help to meet someone's gaze and hold it for a better part of a conversation. Plus, you're more likely to pick up on body language when you're looking at the person. Remember to listen. Good communication always involves listening. Don't get too caught up in trying to decipher someone's gestures or position that you forgot to listen to their words. Generally speaking, you can't get a complete picture of what others think and feel based on their body language alone. When you put body language in the context of their words, you may get a lot more information than you would when considering either type of communication alone. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay positive and spread love.